What's up, everybody? Welcome to part 2 of Cash Flow for Capsuleers. This is the military career agent that we're going through. I've got a number of these other videos up currently. I've gone through the industry career agent, and now we're into the military one. I figured I would change it up a little bit. So we finished the first one, and as a reward, yes, hello, Ella, we were given this Gatling gun, which is a real weapon. One of these civilian play weapons. And they even gave us ammo, which is good. So, this next mission, let's read through it. Good work. The miner's family will be pleased. I'll notify them immediately. And that's really all I get. So, that's not great. But, let's see. Eliminate the pirates and rescue the civilian miner they are holding as a captive. You will find the civilian in a cargo container ejected from one of the pirates' ships. Alright, so they're going to give us a ship for completing this, which is really nice. It'll get us out of this piece of crap. Looks like it is a frigate, and it uses, it gets bonuses to small hybrid turrets, both to damage and fall-off range. And an 80% reduction in propulsion jamming. That's nice if I ever did any of that, so good to keep in mind. Let's see. 4 maximum lock targets, maximum targeting range of 25, which really isn't all that much. But still, it'll be good to get into it. Let's see if I've got the skills for it. Yeah, if you click under requirements, it'll show you what skills you need. And then there's this mastery system, which the game has sort of chosen and picked. It's not totally arbitrary, but it's chosen and picked a relatively pertinent list of skills that it thinks that sort of reflect your mastery or use of this ship. So it shows right here that I hold level 1 mastery for this ship. That means I've got these armor tanking skills and core spaceship operation skills and so on and so forth. Part 2, it says it'll show you the total training time to get to Mastery 2, and you can look over here and see that this is one of them. I need to get Target Management 3 in order to complete that, and I also need to skill up my gunnery skills in order to really qualify for that. And tackling. Propulsion jamming 2. So this is what it's talking about. This ship, because of its roll bonus, or trait bonus, or whatever. Yeah, roll bonus in propulsion jamming. It tells us that we need, that this ship is good for tackling. And as such, to increase our skills in it, it will continue to raise, or to increase our mastery in it. This is really kind of a pointless thing. Nothing requires a mastery level 3 or 4 or any of that stuff. It's just kind of a loose gauge or guide in determining kind of, I don't know how much you're invested in that ship. So anyway, we're going to go, and it looks like we're going up against Serpentis. So I don't have enough ability to track or to manage my damage resists or the damage I'm doing. So I'm not going to worry too much about that. But Serpentis, just like last time, they do 45% kinetic damage and 55% thermal damage, and they want us to, they are most weak to kinetic damage. Now, because we are trading out this gun, this civilian Gatling gun, for a 75mm version of it. Yeah. We look at it and you see that the optimal range is 6,600. The fall-off range is 9,750. We're going to load in antimatter charge. Now, if we take a look at this, most ammo types, at least for projectile weapons and these hybrid weapons, your range is going to be impacted by the type of ammo you use. And additionally, it'll show you what types of damage that ammo will do. So this one, for example, does 5 points of thermal damage and 7 points of kinetic damage. So that works out relatively well, considering we're going up against things that are most vulnerable to kinetic damage. And so we're going to be doing 8.2 total points of damage to shields and 8.5 to armor. So that's good. So generally speaking, we can load our guns out in space, of course, and we can also do it in the station. So if we just drag it drag the ammo and drop it on our ship, it populates or it loads those guns. Now, I don't think we need that much ammo, so I'm just going to separate out 400, and the way I did that is I just held down shift and clicked and dragged, and it asked me how many I want to pull off. I pulled off 400 because this particular gun only used 200, and I figured, you know, I probably don't need much more than 3 sort of ammos full, or 3 clips full, I guess it would be. So anyway, I dragged out all the salvage from the last mission. Don't need to worry about that. The cargo bay, or the drone bay, I could have those 2. I could bring those along just to give myself another line of defense. So I think I'll do that. And so we're using the damage type that will damage them most. And as you can see, I actually now am doing more damage than just the ammo alone showed. Before it was like 5 and 7, and now it's 11 and 15. And where that comes from, if we look at the information on the gun, it will show us a damage modifier, which is 2.15 basically. Yeah. So, and that's what we're multiplying the 5 and 7 by. Yeah, I know. Life is challenging and, yeah, disappointing at times. Go lie down. So, that's why those numbers show as they do. We've got the ammo in our hold, and we're ready to go. Yeah, I know. No, go lie down. We're going to undock. We've accepted the mission. We've got 2 hours and 21 minutes to complete this. It's in the area, and we also need to make sure we have cargo space to carry the civilians back. Once we get there, and off we go. So we will warp to the location. And we're off. All right, we got our drones here. We got this gun here. Now, with weapons, you can overheat them if you want to get a little bit more out of them. And to do that, you click on the little green bar at the top. So see how it's highlighted like that, and this is highlighted. I'm gonna have to click it off. Generally speaking, you don't want to use that in PvE unless you think that extra oomph is the only thing that's going to save you, because it'll damage the components on your ship. And yeah, there's no reason to do that. So we are going to do what we talked about previously, and we're going to spiral towards our, I'm going to go back into tactical view. We're going to spiral towards our target. So I'm going up and away instead of going straight towards them. And I don't know. I think I'm going to turn out this way. And I remember my max targeting range was something like 24 last time. So I'm going to move myself over here and start targeting. And if we remember, all right, we're in 15 kilometers, 13, 12. I'm going to orbit and start firing. See how much damage I did on that first shot? And there's a second shot, and that one's dead. Turn off my prop mod. So I've got a capacitor here. It looks like when I look at my ship fitting, this thing says stable, which means I can run every component on my ship indefinitely without ever running out of... well, before we go over there, let's loot this. Just to, you know, we're not taking any damage really, so might as well. And while we're doing that, I will... Yep, I'll grab that stuff. That's good. I will salvage it while we're here because, you know, what the hell? Why not? And the other ship came close enough, so now I'm going to attack that. Now, because I'm not moving very fast, I I would be taking more damage than usual, but because I'm not really threatened by these, I'm not too concerned. So I'm gonna salvage this. Maybe. These two haven't targeted me yet, which you can tell because there's no red box around them, and there's no yellow box, which would mean that they're, there we go, see that? See it turned yellow? That means that they're targeting me now. And I will orbit them, at least until I need to go and loot stuff again. So this is a relatively simple mission, and I am just going to sort of take care of these things as I go, just because it's faster that way. And yeah, figure I'd save us both some time. Loot that. And while we're waiting here, this is the mission item. Okay, we're still salvaging. Salvaging attempt failed, and because I'm neurotic, I will stack everything so that it looks nice. Yeah, I know. And we'll salvage that as well. Notice we got our blue check mark. These missions, these combat missions, require a lot less explanation and sort of exposition, so to speak, than some of the more involved ones. So this is pretty simple. I got the civilians, and we'll check our cargo. I already had the cargo open. There are the civilians, and I can just warp back. And notice that again, like in the first mission, there are Veldspar asteroids here. If I was interested in mining, I don't have my drones out, so that's good. I won't leave them behind. And then while I'm flying back, I can reload all. Now, I did that by right-clicking on the gun, and if you wanted to, say, change what ammo type you're using in the middle of a fight, that's how you would do it, is you'd right-click on it, and you just select the ammo, and it would go through a full reload cycle in order to do it. Now, last time when we were talking about whether it made any sense or it took to salvage your missions. Well, maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. But in this little mission where I killed like 4 or 5 different ships, I got one thing of loot that itself is worth 11,900, and the rest of the salvage is worth almost 500,000 ISK. So that actually really paid for what time I spent on it. And we're done. We've got the civilians in our cargo hold, and by turning in the mission with them in our cargo hold, that's completely fine. If we dragged them to the item hangar, that would be fine as well. I want to say that in the past, I may have put them into like a shipping container or something, and they don't like that. They don't. Well, I would guess the civilians don't like that on one hand because they're being put in a shipping container, but the quest giver doesn't see them in the container, and so you need to pull them out. And that's something to keep in mind. So if you're trying to figure out why, you weren't able to complete the mission, that may be why. So that's it for 2 of 10. It was really pretty quick and easy. We just did a little bit of combat. We spiraled in so that we would maintain at least a little bit of lateral velocity or radial velocity, so to speak, which made it harder for them to hit us. We salvaged our kills and we looted them. And if we really wanted to, we could actually use this, and we just drop it right there. And that takes our armor hit points from 210 to 510, which is quite a bit. And we got this ship, which is nice, and 111,000 ISK for our trouble. So thanks for watching. Check out the links in the description below. It'll tell you if you want to buy the game, you can do it through there, and in doing so, you'll support the show and support kind of what I'm doing here for you. And there's also a link if you want to try it for free. And if you use that link, it's kind of like a buddy code. So by being technically my buddy, you will, when you go to an Omega, when you go to subscribe, basically, as a new player, you will get an additional 250,000 skill points, which is worth about 2 weeks of training. So not a small amount. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.